Commanders family? It's Command Center Postgame Live. We are post-game right now. The score is 38-31, losing at home to the Philadelphia Eagles. We are here now, Brian Cooper Jr. here with Brian Mitchell, Logan Paulson. Fellas, initial thoughts on the loss. B. Mitchell, we'll start with you.
I just think that you scored 31 points 2 times in 2 games. You feel you should win the game. But ultimately, for me, I leave this game, I'm not blaming offense or defense. I'm blaming the Commanders. Offensively, when you had plays to make, you missed them. Defensively, when you could have stood up, you didn't. So it's not no one's fault, but it's ultimately you don't make the plays when you need to make the plays. And that's what I look at. I look at the Eagles. They threw the ball 2 times more than they ran it, but they didn't have any turnovers.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of penalties at inopportune times. We threw it a little more than 2 times that we ran it, but we incompleted passes that were wide open.
Yeah.
And we did have a turnover. So ultimately, when you look at the game, it's not about, well, we didn't run enough. We didn't make the plays. In this game, what I saw was that the team that won didn't make mistakes, didn't hurt themselves. The team that lost hurt themselves. It wasn't about you didn't run enough, whatever. You just didn't make enough plays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, when I look at the defense, they cultivated 2 turnovers today. They forced 2 fumbles, right, in critical situations in the low red zone, stopping Philadelphia's drive. That's excellent, right? And when you look at the Commanders, 1 interception, the 2 turnovers. But the thing that I think is the deciding factor here, it's 0 for 3 on 4th down. They weren't able to convert on 4th down when they had to. And if you look at the Eagles, right, 2 for 2 in terms of 4th down conversions. That's the thing that allows them to possess the football, drive the length of the field. Also, they were more consistent. Like we talked about this off air a little bit, B, is just like when you're watching the Eagles, they're here the whole time. They're down 14, they're here. They're up 5, they're here. It doesn't matter. They're always the same. And the game never feels like it's out of reach for them, and that's the sign of an experienced team, in my opinion. And when you look at the Commanders, I think there's a lot of good things to take from today. But what you see is there were times the moment felt too big, the times where they were up and down a little bit too much for my liking. And I think that's the thing that separates good teams from great teams. And they showed you what this team can be. They showed you flashes of something special, you know.
Yeah.
The touchdown pass is awesome. Logan Thomas's catch in the end zone was great. All that type of stuff. But then you still saw flashes of the old team, the team from earlier this year, the team that loses to the Bears, the team that loses to the Giants, right? So highs and lows, and it's very frustrating, I'm sure. But I think there's a lot of positives to be gleaned from it. And like B said, like you got to play perfect football when you're playing good football teams. And when you look at this game, over 3 on 4th down, I think was a big deal for us.
Yeah, for sure. And there's some positive things to talk about, so let's get into that. But first, we are awaiting head coach Ron Rivera at his presser. Until then, we will talk to you guys. And as soon as Ron Rivera is up, we will take him and we will show you his presser. Talk about these positives. I think the thing that stood out to me the most, only 1 sack on Sam Howell, and it's at the very end of the game. We talk so much about what this team could do if we keep Sam Howell clean. B-Mitch, how good was it to see Sam Howell be able to stay up, and then when the pocket collapsed, he took off and ran?
Well, I'll be honest with you. When you look at this game, you would say they changed some positions on offensive line.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the positions that were changed on the offensive line were the key.
Yeah.
I saw Sam being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball release.
Yeah.
I saw Sam 1, 2, 3 ball release. I saw Sam in a blitz situation ball release. He released the ball, which gives the offensive line confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
They feel good about what they're doing. So when I look at, that's why I said I don't blame offense, defense, special teams. I blame the Commanders more than I do the Eagles.
Sure.
Because the mistakes that were made today were the Commanders. And they made more than the Eagles. And it was on offense, defense, and special teams. So when you look at a game, your kicker kicks a 61-yard field goal. You score 31 points and you lose?
Yeah.
I don't, that is one that you don't understand. So ultimately you go beyond analytics, beyond what you know about football, and you realize today you got to go to straight mistakes. And the least amount of mistakes made today, like incomplete passes in great times that you can do it, was more on the Commander side than it was on the Eagles side.
Yeah, and I think to that point, obviously there's that interception late, which pushed the Philadelphia Eagles inside the Commanders' 20. They get points out of that, right? They go for it on 4th and 5 after the Philadelphia review. They're inside the 20. They end up scoring on that. So I do think that score is slightly inflated. But to B. Mitch's point, on the drive before the interception, or right after the interception, they did a great job of kind of creating open throws that were missed. Terry McLaurin twice with a drop kind of bad throw, and you kind of say, what does that look like there? If you're able to get that corrected, I don't know. I think you're probably in a more competitive football game. It's probably 24-31. You're driving in to score. I think you get points on the board there. You feel pretty good about it, and you're tied, and you get to make that decision about whether to go for 2 or not. But with regards to your point and B. Mitch's point, they moved some pieces around the offensive line. I thought Tyler Larson did an excellent job today of calling protections. No free runners to the quarterback. I thought Sam also helped that group out, getting the ball out of his hand quickly. So, again, they didn't win. But in terms of elevating a group and improving, I think you said the offensive line did much better today. Sam Howell did much better today. And I think EB called a fantastic football game.
Yes, he did.
And so I think there's a lot of positive things. But
you know, I hear a lot of people talking about, we got to run the ball more. Listen to me. Today had nothing to do with us not running the ball enough. Today had everything to do with us not making the plays that were in our face.
Yeah.
So sometimes fans out there and some of my friends, y'all know
some of your friends.
Let me just be real with you. Don't follow a narrative. Pay more attention to the game.
Yeah.
This game today was about mistakes on our side. Not running the football or anything like that. If we make any of those passes in the end with Terry, they were bad passes, and the player didn't run or stop, however you want to put it. But it had nothing to do with not running the football. We didn't make the plays we were capable of playing. And we are paying guys to play football, a game that I love. They got to get some blame sometimes for not making it happen. Not, well, we didn't do this. That's a narrative. Stop following it.
Yeah, and I think also to that point, like when you're playing a football team of the Philadelphia Eagles caliber, like even though this is probably one of the cleaner games this team has played all year from a sack standpoint, from a turnover standpoint, from a production standpoint, Sam almost throws for 400 yards on relatively good efficiency, like lots, and defensively, limited explosive plays outside that one late to Devontae Smith. You know, like you kind of say, wow, they did a pretty good job. But when you're playing a team, it's a Super Bowl caliber team, those little mistakes that we're talking about are the difference between winning and losing a football game. And I even look at running the ball. This was probably the most efficient B-Rob has been throughout the game. I know he only has 10 carries.
5.9.
Yeah, only 10 carries for 51 yards, but able to get an explosive run in there. And then the down-to-down consistency was much better. So when you're playing a good football team, it's the little details. And you can go back through a fine-tooth comb and say 85% of this game was excellent from an offensive standpoint. It's that 15% we're talking about that's the difference between winning and losing. And that's hard for fans to understand. It's easy to be like, oh, they should run the ball, or this guy didn't do his job. But when you look at it, pretty clean sheet. Just don't get the results you want.
And fellas, we say it all the time, right? There's no moral victories. However, when you have a young quarterback, you have a new offensive coordinator, you have to look at the development and how this team grows. And I think we saw a better team. We saw a better Sam Howell. Sam Howell completed 9 passes to 9 different receivers. That's pretty impressive. Targeted 10.
And for me, I think the other thing is with all the adversity that this team was going through this week, all the rumors about the trades, you know, all the comments in the locker room after the Giants game, I had no idea what to expect. But for them to come out and put a competitive, productive product on the field, I think that's a testament to some type of leadership on the roster. And again, we're not absolving them of responsibility. We're not saying that they should have won or whatever. They didn't play well enough to win the game. That's fine. But I think there was a lot of adversity this week. And for them to come out and be that competitive, I think is a testament to that group. And hopefully they can use this as a building block and kind of parlay it into something more this year.
It shows they have a lot of talent on this team.
Yeah.
But everybody on
they're all talented. Very talented.
They dealt with the fact that some of us might not be here next week. Whether you're the Commanders, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Rams, everybody dealt with that. But in this football game, see, I believe in being able to focus on what's important. And what's important today is don't make mistakes against the Eagles. And I think we allowed ourselves to make too many of those mistakes, and we lost the game. So ultimately for me is, I know that everybody has a reason or an excuse why we don't play our best, But I don't give you that because you have to focus on what the hell I got to do to make sure I play my best. Because I guarantee you there are people out there right now who are hearing more about being traded than guys on this team. And if they're going to be traded, they still got to go play. My mindset has always been, low. If you say you're going to trade me, I'm going to play so damn good to where you're confused, and the team that want me going to really want me. And if you let me go, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be a ghost. I'm going to haunt your ass all the time. So I understand that happens, but great players don't let those things affect them. And I think that's why we got to go out there. It could be a reason that they had to fight through. But once the game starts, all that's over.
Coach Ron Rivera is at the presser right now.
Completion, then it was or completion, incompletion, then incompletion.
You know about Johns?
Yes.
Yeah, they told me New York decided it wasn't a completion. And I struggled because it took them so long to get it correct that you'd think that they didn't emphatically know that it was an incompletion. And it did look like the left hand was under. I mean, when you get a chance to see the replay, that helps you. And I was looking up at it, and I saw, I did see John's right hand come up, but I saw his left hand under the ball. So that's what I was told, was that it was decided by New York that they felt it was incomplete.
And then the one to Devontae Smith on the fourth down where it appears he dropped it and the sidelines kind of looking, gesturing. Why did you not challenge that one?
I didn't see it on the screen. I was looking at the screen to see if there was something that could help me with it. And then I was waiting to hear somebody else.
Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
You think life is short? Football is short. The regular season's just 18 weeks. That's it. So cherish every over and under before it's over on FanDuel. With live betting on every NFL game. Because before you know it, a cold night at a Buffalo Bills game will just be a cold night in Buffalo.
Bet $5, get $150 bonus if your team wins, plus a profit boost every single day. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Tuesday is a big day. This game was possibly going to tilt you guys in one direction or another. What are you kind of thinking right now as your...
Stop searching. Go Northwest. I went to Northwest Federal Credit Union, even better than a bank. And they hooked me up with totally free financial counseling to help me manage my money.
Totally free?
Totally free.
I feel my financial wellness running through me already.
Whatever works. Stop searching. Go Northwest.
Are you on your way?
Yep, coming.
And Mom and Dad?
Don't worry, they'll be there.
Happy anniversary!
Go beyond the expected with the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
One bag.
The winter...
What did you think of your substitutions on the offensive line and the offensive line in general and how they played today?
I think we only gave up one sack. Unfortunately, it was at a critical point, but they battled their butts off. They did some great things. I thought getting the ball out of Sam's hand early set a good tone, a good tempo. I thought taking the shots were very well timed. The protections, we max protects a couple of times. It gave him a chance to push the ball downfield, and we were that close. I mean, we really were, and it's just unfortunate.
Forbes gets back into the game a couple times. He ends up matched up on Brown. It looked like they were looking for that. What's the balance of trusting the kid versus that being a bad matchup?
Well, that's part of the balance, and you watch the young man, try to compete and do the things that we're asking him to do, and he's going to get better. He's got the skill set, so we'll just continue to work with him, continue to, push him to help develop him and get him ready to play.
What was the thinking into putting him in that spot? You guys felt he was ready to get back out there?
Well, yes, he's had a couple of really good weeks of practice, a good work. It was a personnel grouping that we used where we knew we'd be able to give him some help, and, that's credits to them.
Yeah, one more, if you don't mind, on the New York thing. the reason to challenge that, I guess if New York weighs in, is there a thought that maybe that's a fruitless challenge because they've already made up their mind, so to speak?
That's a good question, but for me, looking at it, if it took that long to decide, they couldn't tell me then emphatically that it was incomplete. And that's what I thought the rule was supposed to raise to. If they call it a completion, right, and the other team challenges, now we try to see if you can see it emphatically. Well, if you take that long to make a decision, obviously you're not 100%, or at least that's my feeling on it.
It seemed like on some of their big plays today, your DBs, whether it's a manual or otherwise, were in a good spot. How do you coach the finishing element, the playmaking element
Is
of
to
that?
go up and through the arms. You try to get the hands off the ball. If you look at the guys that they went up against, it's probably one of the best in the league right now, and he's playing like one of the best in the league.
And then the one where your guys aren't there, there's the bust where Kendall's looking back.
We got to make sure it's communicated across the board. Sometimes when you get into a hurry-up mode, you've got to make sure it's clear and that everybody gets it.
You guys often play Philly tough, another one of those today, but at some point, does that get even more frustrating that you're able to match up with them but not get over it?
Absolutely. And that's, to David's question earlier, that's one of the tough things, tough pills to swallow, is that, if you can play that way against the elite 3 times in a row, then let's do it all the time.
Take 2 more.
Coach Sam Howell has had a very up and down season, and specifically in the last handful of games, like good first half, not so good second half, next game, not so good first half, good second half. So it's not just defensive adjustments after halftime. How do you get a young quarterback to find that consistency moving forward?
Well, I think if you look at this game, there were some really good things in the first half. A little bit of slow start into the third quarter, but he came out of it and he was able to push the ball downfield, and especially when he got into the hurry-up situations, he really handled those things. I mean, this is all growth and development, and really there's moments that have to happen, have to occur, so you can develop and grow, not just as an individual, but as a team. I mean, looking at the way this team is put together and where we are, you hope that it's coming together, it's coming to fruition, and everything that, we've been talking about since the spring, committing to him and his growth and development is important, because I really do think that, we've got something here with this guy.
Kind of a big picture question here, basically kind of at the halfway point of the regular season. Where do you think this team is at right now? How do you kind of evaluate where it's at?
Well, I just know this. We got a game next week that I think we can go out and play well enough to win, and we'll see how we do. I'm only going to talk about one game at a time, Scott. I think that's the truth of the matter. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I always want to just make sure we're focusing on what's important. Right now, the most important thing to me is getting ready to play the next game.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. All right. Locker room's open. Clubhouse.
Thank you, Coach, for his presser. We are actually awaiting Sam Howell's presser. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties with the audio. Live TV, baby. It happens sometimes. You know what I mean? But we are awaiting Sam Howell's presser. We're going to talk more about this offense. We're going to talk more about this defense after we come back from break. See you after the break.
Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
You think life is short? Football is short. The regular season's just 18 weeks. That's it. So cherish every over and under before it's over on FanDuel, with live betting on every NFL game. Because before you know it, a cold night at the Buffalo Bills game will just be a cold night in Buffalo.
Bet $5, get $150 bonus if your team wins, plus a profit boost every single day. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Hey, Marissa, what are you doing?
Searching
For what?
my financial wellness.
Stop searching. Go Northwest. I went to Northwest Federal Credit Union, even better than a bank. And they hooked me up with totally free financial counseling to help me manage my money.
Totally free?
Totally free.
I feel my financial wellness running through me already.
Whatever works. Stop searching. Go Northwest.
Are you on your way?
Yep, coming.
And Mom and Dad?
Don't worry, they'll be there.
Happy anniversary!
Go beyond the expected with the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
One bag.
The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're ready for the holidays, so you're ready for what's next.
Dad, we're gonna be late.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
Welcome back, Commanders family, into Command Center Post-Game Live. It is time for the fast play of the game presented by the Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast, but please play responsibly. And this play goes to no other than Terry's first quarter touchdown, his second touchdown of the season. Terry got a 26-yard pass from Sam Howell to get the score, and what a snag.
Fantastic.
You said that was shades of Moss. How was it seeing Terry get involved? We talked so much in pregame. Brian Cooper Jr. here with Brian Mitchell and Logan Paulson. We talked so much about getting Terry involved. We talked about it almost all pregame, how important it was. 12 targets for Terry McLaurin. Talk about Terry a little bit.
Well, Terry is the guy who's going to make plays for you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, as we look at the games previously this year, he didn't get targeted until the second half most times.
Yeah.
But to go to him early and you see he makes a tough catch. He makes a catch you don't think he can make.
Yeah.
He is, as we say in the football world, he's a dog. And that's not negative. That is 100% positive. The guy makes plays you don't expect the guy to make. And he does it routinely all the time. And I think at this point, the way this game plan seemed to me, they started early saying we're going to Terry often.
Yeah, and I think you saw like kind of what the impact of getting him involved early can be, not only from like obviously a statistical standpoint, scoring a touchdown, but the emotional standpoint, getting the crowd behind you, getting the team motivated, getting that lead early, and going to the guy, going to the captain, getting that done for you, I think is really special. And for him to do it in the way that he did it, also pretty spectacular.
Yeah, and we are waiting Sam Howell at the presser. We will take his presser as soon as we get here. But one other person we got to mention before we go to break, Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson had a career game, 8 catches off of 10 targets, 108 yards, and a touchdown. Logan, how good is it to finally see Jahan break out and turn into that player we saw last season?
I mean, this is something we've probably been expecting for him now for a couple of weeks, and it was nothing spectacular, right? It was kind of finding open space, making the plays you're supposed to make, great play design, and having that chemistry with Sam Howell. And I think it just shows you what this offense can be and the potential of this offense when you have kind of diverse target selection. You mentioned he threw it to 9 different receivers, Jahan being one of them. And for Jahan to kind of, again, find those opportunities, find that space, make some of those plays, build that confidence. I think it's just going to be a great stepping stone for him going into the rest of the season. And we need that guy to kind of be making some plays and be the player that we thought he was going to be when we drafted him in the first round last year.
Yeah. We talk about Jahan, we talk about Terry, Curtis has come up a lot. I want to see a game and all of them show up at the same time.
Yeah, this was pretty close, though.
It was close. Yeah. But then I want to see what the other teams are going to do then.
Yeah.
Because right now we have been an incomplete offense.
Yes.
Because what we are capable of, we haven't done on a consistent basis. If we do what we're capable of on a consistent basis, then I wonder what the rest of the league would think about the Washington Commanders.
Yeah. And I think this is perfect time to do the Toast of a Town, and it will be Jahan Dotson. This is Toast of a Town presented by, I'm going to try it, Mitch, La Chemin de Ra. Champagne and Branson Cognac, the official champagne and cognac. Did I do good?
That was excellent.
De Ra. Well, this is no other than Jahan Dotson. Like we said, he had a career high in receptions and yards, 8 catches for 108 yards, and a touchdown off of 10 targets. Shout out to Jahan. Great to see him get off. And like we said, Commanders fans, just now joining us, we are awaiting Sam Howell's presser. We'll be taking Sam Howell's presser as soon as he gets up. Until then, we are going to go to break, and we will come back with more offensive talk, more defensive talk. Brian Coble Jr. here with Brian Mitchell, Logan Paulson. We will be back right after this break.
You're going to like this story because it's about you. You who forgot to charge your phone last night. You who sprints to the boarding line so your bag will fit. You with him. Until one day you boarded a United plane that was designed for, well, you. And your phone got charged, your bag fit, so did everyone else's, but this story isn't about them. Your toddler didn't tantrum, and you got to fly happily ever after. The end.
Hey, it's me, food. I'm so much more than just what we eat. I'm hand-cut, fresh and frosted. I love it. Aw, I love you too. See, life is always something new. All messy, frantic, and amazing. And from where I sit, you look delicious. That's why every day is worth celebrating. If you can. Stay fresh. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
The final stone of the championship.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary.
Roger, this is looking good.
We believe every moment in sports should be epic.
Are you watching this?
Is that curling? No.
This morning's news, curling fever has taken over the world.
So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Play the Maryland Lottery. Because fun looks good on you. Right now, play our new $10,000 cash and $100,000 cash scratch-offs. They have big top prizes for big fun.
What you looking for? My financial wellness. Bro, stop searching. Go Northwest. I went to Northwest Federal Credit Union, even better than a bank. I'm actually really building my savings now. Savings? How much? We're not gonna find it in there. Try here. Bro, stop searching. Go Northwest.
Toyota Tacoma. The off-road legend. Built for adventure and designed for longevity. Equipped for any terrain with the guts to be unstoppable. Right now, buy a Tacoma with 3.99 APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back, Commanders family, Command Center Postgame Live. We are awaiting quarterback Sam Howell's presser. The minute he is out there, we will take him. But until then, it is time for today's Never Ordinary Play presented by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And this play goes to no other than Joey Slye for making the franchise record, a franchise record 61-yard field goal that gave Washington a 17-0 lead going into half. What a kick, B-Mitch. You saw it happen live. You was right there. How cool was that?
It was cool. You know, I saw him lining up for it, and then when he made it, my mindset, and I hate saying it right now, was there's no way we lose this game today when people make a 61-yard field goal.
Right.
Yeah.
But we saw the score at the end. But ultimately, you saw a great individual effort by Joey. And he's had some up and downs being in this town.
Yes. 100%.
And I was thrilled for him to be able to hit that kick because now, when you go into those situations, you understand he has every possibility of making it.
Yes.
Just as much we look at some people go, well, they can't make it. He's shown today what he's capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. And for him, you know, it's a 50-yard field goal prior. They had the penalty, the offsides, the false start, backed him up, and you're like, but he made that thing by 20 yards.
Yes, he did.
I was like, he's got enough leg, whatever's going on here. And for him to, again, that's such a talent, and he leads the league in touchbacks. All those things are awesome. So Nice for him to get his flowers today, and it's unfortunately that it comes in a loss, but great, like you said, great individual effort.
And we're talking special teams. One guy that I think we've all been like, keeping our fingers crossed, that gets more involved in this offense and kind of gets off is Jamison Crowder.
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder had some great punts for us early in the season, but wasn't really too involved in this offense. But today, 7 targets, 7 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. B-Mitch, that's your boy. How cool is it to see Jamison Crowder get involved in this offense and get off the way he did?
Man, I've always had a great affinity for Jamison when he was first here. Then he left, and he came back, and I saw a lot of fans, and I know all you fans out there who, you know who you are, so I'm saying it to you because I know you're going to feel it. We don't need him. He's over the hill. You're not over the hill until you're over the hill.
Right.
The kid produced when he was healthy, when he had opportunity. In the game today, he takes punts and he goes for it.
Yeah.
But when he was involved in the offense, he made it happen too. It's something about those special team guys, Roman. You understand this. They play the game on a different speed, a different level. And when you get them on offense, they are moving a little faster than everybody else. And they make it happen. Jamison did that, and I hope he becomes another part of this offense that I think still has an opportunity to be great this year. Where they can go out there and make everybody else have to truly, truly wonder, where the hell is Sam going with the football?
Yeah.
Because they have all the capabilities they can or they need to become great.
Yeah, and I think it's great that you see his experience, too, kind of understanding like the soft spots in zones, how to run certain routes. And, again, that's a guy who's in year 9, something like that, 8, 9, and like all that experience come to fruition in these moments. So pretty cool for him. And, that touchdown at the end was a fantastic catch. And hopefully, like you said, hopefully gets more involved. And there are just so many weapons and so many layers to the passing game of this offense. It'll be cool when it all kind of clicks together. We saw shades of what it could be today. Very special group, and hopefully it continues to grow.
Definitely saw what it could be, and like you said, it continues to grow. We get to see different guys involved in this offense. Another person we saw get more touches, Antonio Gibson. 5 catches today. We've been dying to see him get the ball out of the backfield a little more, get into space. How cool is it to see AG become a little more part of this offense, and how does that help our running back room?
It's great to see it. I think it helps the running back room because you can't focus on certain people.
Yeah.
But the ultimate thing today was that the quarterback had more time. They had more opportunities offensively to run more plays. So it got more people involved. It wasn't that they went out and said, we're going to get the ball to Antonio today. We're going to make sure Jamison gets involved. They got more stops defensively, which allowed the offense to go a little deeper into that playbook.
Sure.
And if you keep allowing that, then you understand today what the capabilities of this offense really is. So a lot of the problems earlier has been we don't have enough time or enough chances to show what we're truly capable of.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think they converted 28 first downs today. So, they had the ball a lot. They possessed the ball well. They made plays when they had to. The Gibson play that comes to mind is when he's running the rail here on the sideline, catches it over the linebacker, kind of bobbling to the ground. That's a catch we've seen him have a hard time with in the past, so nice to see him make that play. And like B said, Jamison, Gibson, all these playmakers at every position, Logan Thomas, that's what this offense has. And to see Sam be that kind of consummate point guard and facilitate that, the offensive line giving him enough time to do that, him understanding that I need to get the ball out quick in certain situations. I saw today a couple times he's checking the protection to screens when he thinks it's going to be a blitz. So there was a nice maturity here. EB gave him answers. There was just so many positive things. But again, it's we can talk about the positive all day, but ultimately they don't get the result they want. But I do think it's a nice kind of foundational game for that offense. And hopefully they can continue to build on it and say, these are things that are helping us with the pressure. These are matchups we like with the back. Oh, this is a situation we like Jamison in. So even though it's not a victory, I think it's a pretty cool thing to watch. And hopefully they continue to grow with it.
And it's worth noting because the Eagles are one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
And we came out and showed improvement against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Yeah. Now, we are currently awaiting your quarterback, Sam Howell, at the presser. Until then, we are going to go to break. We're going to come back, talk much more, and give you Sam Howell at the presser. We'll be back soon.
Hey, grab me one too.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We have more boosts than anyone else. We power up the odds on hundreds of bets with Bet Boost. We give you the option to increase your profit with our incredible Profit Boost. And just when you think you can't get better odds, we unleash the Super Boost. Check out our boosts and see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Toyota Tacoma. The off-road legend. Built for adventure and designed for longevity. Equipped for any terrain with the guts to be unstoppable. Right now, buy a Tacoma with 3.99 APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Are you on your way?
Yep, coming.
And Mom and Dad?
Don't worry, they'll be there.
Happy anniversary!
Go beyond the expected with the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best. Smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
One bag. The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're ready for the holidays, so you're ready for what's next.
Welcome back, Commanders Family Command Center post-game live. Brian Cole Jr. here with Brian Mitchell and Logan Paulson. We are awaiting your quarterback, Sam Howell, at the presser. The minute he gets to the podium, we will take that. But until then, it is time for my favorite segment of our post-game show. It is time for our post-game delivery presented by Pizzanos. Since your Commanders scored 4 touchdowns, and that's right, 4 touchdowns, make sure you visit your local Pizzanos tomorrow where you'll receive 4 free toppings all day long. 4 of them things.
Look at that.
Mitch,
That's one.
ain't no toppings on there. I don't know if cheese counts as a topping, but look at that. We got the pepperoni.
This counts as 2.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And then you can add some beef, some Canadian bacon.
Oh, yeah. Is that how you like it? That's how you like it?
And maybe like a little onion on here, too.
Just don't throw no pineapples on there. Logan, you like a pineapple guy.
I do like
Yeah, I read you right,
Pineapple
man.
on pizza is not right.
It's good, man. I enjoy it.
I don't know why y'all do that.
I don't know. It's the sweetness. I don't know. It's
Nah,
good.
man.
Listen, man, I ain't going to judge you
You want
too bad.
dessert, go get some pineapple. Get your fruit cocktail, man.
Well, listen, one thing we talked about in pregame, like, again, we're awaiting Sam Howell's presser. One thing we talked about pregame is slowing down this #1 rushing attack.
Yeah.
Until the very end of the game, this rushing attack had nothing
Yeah.
going on. We really held them very well. How did our defense do, B-Miss? Talk about it.
I think they did great. One thing they've shown, they run that 5-man front. That defensive line, they show up in different games but they have to be more consistent with it. But the ultimate thing is when you stop somebody from doing what they love to do, you also have to have a plan to kind of hinder the second thing they like to do. And we stopped them from running, but they were still able to move the ball and get down the field. Went to A.J. Brown every chance they had. The game plan today should have had something to do with making sure A.J. Brown wasn't the guy that was going to hit you. And he ended up with 129 yards pass or receiving like that.
Yeah.
And I think you got to find a way to stop that. Yes, they are the #1 running team in the league, but they win when they almost run the ball well.
Yeah.
So you got to find a way to be able to stop that as well. And they didn't do that today. So I give them credit for stopping the run. But great teams don't do one thing. They do something else.
Yeah, and I think to your point, not only did they stop the run well, but I thought the front was much more active with regards to the pass rush. I like that Jack was bringing a little bit more pressure. But again, when you're bringing pressure, you put those DBs in those man-to-man situations.
There you go.
I think Benjamin St-Juste, while I think he was competitive and in competitive situations, like that is not always enough when you're going against a guy like A.J. Brown. You got to kind of complete some of those plays, make those tough kind of elite plays to kind of put you over the top, especially against a top 5 receiver like A.J. Brown. And I think to your point, he was really their offense. Like when they were not going well, I think it was like the first, like midway through the first quarter into the halftime, like he was the offense. They found him ways to get him touches on fades, on digs, and there just was no answer for him. And I think you're okay with that as long as you can kind of stymie the bleeding. But over the course of a game, and I think we also got to give credit to Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Yeah. He did an excellent job of when the pressure was there, extending the play, finding time. A couple of those completions to Smith, Devontae Smith, late in the down are backbreaking because it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. He buys a little time, makes completions. There's that 4th and 4 down in the red zone where everyone's in good position. Kendall Fuller undercuts the dig, and then Jalen Hurts rolls out of the pocket to his left and finds Devontae Smith uncovering late. Like that's what makes him a special player. That's what makes that offense special. And I wish there was an answer saying, if they just did this, this, and this. Sometimes you don't have answers for elite competition and special players, and that I'm sure is insanely frustrating for the coaching staff, for the fans, for us. And it's something that you can't go to the pen and be like, hey, they should have done X, Y, Z.
No, you can't.
Because they made plays.
Yeah. But I say it's the fans all the time. Like, I say it a lot on the radio. I go, you have to learn how to win.
Yeah, there's something to that.
And people hear that, and they think it's like a joke or just a cliche or a saying.
But there's nuance to it, though.
Imagine the Eagles 3 years ago when Jalen Hurts became the quarterback.
Yeah.
They weren't winning.
No.
They wanted to get another quarterback because they thought he wasn't the guy.
Yeah.
But he learned. He went through the struggles, came back on the other side. Just maybe, that could be what's happening here. But we also have to find a way to make something a little better weekly than we do. We finish games, and I think we make slight moves. You got to make great moves in other areas, and then all of a sudden you find out your team will be winning just as much as any other team out there.
Well, I think to your point, like that Philadelphia Eagles team from 2 years ago, they'd lose games like this all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's the maturity, and you hear their head coach talk about the confidence he has in Jalen Hurts and
There you go.
And I don't know if he's a top 5 quarterback, but he's definitely top 10 in the NFL. And when you have a top 10 guy that can make plays, elevate your offensive roster, because A.J. Brown was with Tannehill in Tennessee, and he was good, but he wasn't like this.
So
that's what it shows you what an excellent quarterback can do for you in terms of elevating the skill position players, and give Philly their props. And I think the defense is going to go back to the drawing board and say, man, these are some situations we got to get better at, and it's backbreaking. I mean, there's no other way to frame it. Like they had a hard day today. They had a hard task, and I think they did a really excellent job, especially in the first half and into the third quarter. And then there's that coverage bust late in the fourth that kind of, again, like that's stuff that needs to be removed from the repertoire. And it wasn't today. It wasn't today. So.
He may not be a top 5 quarterback, but he's a top 5 winner. And if your defense goes against that every day, where he rarely makes mistakes, it makes him a little better. And I think that's what we need to do as a team here. Offensively, defensively, stop making those mistakes at the wrong time.
And it's in addition to that, it's also like making the play.
Yeah.
It's not making the mistake, but it's also making the play. And I think back to those 2 plays that Terry had at the end in that 2-minute, or there was a 4-minute drive where they're going in to score, maybe tie the game, and the ball bounces off his chest twice. And I know that throw could be better, but when that's your guy, you kind of want them to make that play. Make the play, don't make the mistake. And I think it's a different thing. It's a subtle thing, like playing not to make a mistake and playing to make a play. And I felt like that was an example of when you're watching the Eagles, they're always trying to make a play. And because they're confident, they trust themselves. And like you said, you got to learn what that means and learn how to get that done.
There you go.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts definitely an elite quarterback. A tough task trying to slow down that QB for Philly. And we are awaiting our QB, Sam Howell, at the presser. The minute he's at the presser, we will take that, even if I have to interrupt my guys. We will take that. Now, let's take a little look ahead, right? We have 3 games coming up, 2 back-to-back road games. First one will be against the New England Patriots on the 5th of November. Then we head to Seattle and take on the Seahawks. And then we're back home taking on a division rival, the New York Giants. New England Patriots, not an easy battle anytime you're over there, especially doing back-to-back road games. B-Mitch, when you see these back-to-back road games coming up, what does that do for your mentality as a player? Because that's got to be tough.
Well, I just say you have to correct the things you've been doing wrong thus far. But ultimately for me, you think about one game, the New England Patriots. And you know that the New England Patriots, if you're an offensive player, they're going to be ready defensively. If you are a defensive player, their offense is going to try to make sure you have to do things that you're not good at. The thing about the Patriots, they attack your weaknesses. Okay? They don't attack your strengths. They attack your weaknesses to see if you can overcome that and to get to your strengths. And if we cannot do it, we'll have a problem. If we can, I think the Patriots as they are now is not as great as they used to be.
Yeah, I do think Bill Belichick does a great job of kind of making that game plan defense. He's going to say, this is what you like to do. We're going to take this away and see if you can beat us in this other way, right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and we're going to play a lot of cover 2 and be like, you're not going to throw the football. Let's see if you can run the football and see if you can win the game doing that. I will say the thing that's exciting, maybe is the wrong word, but I'm optimistic about is that Daniel Jones, who's the quarterback? Mac Jones. Mac Jones is definitely not a top 10 quarterback, right? And this defense, when they play quarterbacks who are not elite quarterbacks or even good quarterbacks, they tend to dominate those guys. Desmond Ridder, Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, whatever it is, right? They're able to kind of put their mark on the game. And so I'm hoping that when they go up there, they can make Mac Jones look like Mac Jones. And when they go to Seattle, they can make Geno Smith look like Geno Smith. And then we come back, and whoever's starting for the New York Giants, we make them look like that caliber of player. And so that's one thing that I'm optimistic about from a defensive standpoint. But the thing that's tough is that the New England Patriots are a tough defense to negotiate. And we saw what the New York Giants did to this offense just last week. So that's where I am kind of like question marks are big for me with regards to the offense, but I think the defense will play better over this next 3-game stretch.
Yep, New England, Seattle, definitely winnable games for our team. How big, Logan, would it be for us to come back at home before we face the Giants again with 2 wins under our belt on the road?
Yeah, I don't think it would be that big of a deal, actually. No, it would be a huge deal, honestly. It'd be a huge deal.
You got me on that one.
You got to get those wins, man.
Yes,
you got to get those wins.
Yeah.
You got to win those games, win the games you're supposed to win. And while, Seattle's a good football team, they're not a great football team. So these are ones that you kind of say, hey, we got a puncher's chance. We're competitive with these teams. We saw if this offense plays like they did today, they're in every single game. It's just about whether the defense can match them and whether they can handle some of the adversity that they're going to see when they play the Bills, when they play the Giants again. What's the plan for those defenses? So that's what I would say. Obviously, huge next 2 games. Got to win them. And they are winnable football games. And it's going to be tough. It's on the road, all those things we talked about. But, golly, if they play like this today, it's all there for them.
And this offense today showed me that Sam knows to get rid of the ball quickly.
Yes, he does.
He understands how to read pressure and all that. So moving forward, I expect it to happen.
Yes.
So if he, like Logan stated, if they can do what they did today, they have a chance to win any game they go into moving forward. Let's not take the step behind. Step back.
And Commander's family.
Don't take a step back.
Yep. And Commander's family, we are awaiting Sam Howell at the podium. The minute he gets to the podium, we will take his presser. Until then, there is something that we constantly talk about, one of Santana's keys almost every time, except for today, for some reason, and that was win the turnover.
Did he not say it today?
He did not say it
He
today,
says
Logan.
it every day.
He says it
he
every
jinxed
time.
it. He jinxed us.
And we actually won the turnover battle. How much optimism does that give you, seeing us force 2 fumbles against a very, very good team? It
just shows as a defense, you know how to get the ball out.
Yes.
And they discussed that coming to the season.
We have Sam Howell at the podium. We will be back.
Let's go see.
That gave you guys more time and just where the success was there.
Yeah, I thought those guys up front did a really good job today, and I thought we did a good job. EB did a good job of mixing things up and, getting some quick game called and had a lot of screens called today as well. And I thought we did a lot of things to keep them off balance. And did a lot of good things, but, we had an opportunity there in the fourth quarter to, have a chance to go tie the game, and I got to be better. I wasn't at my best when my best was needed. And it hurt the team today.
How disappointing then, 2 games with this team to come up short again?
Yeah, very disappointing. Obviously both games against these guys, we felt like they were games that we could have won. And I think we're just right there. But at the end of the day, we let another one slip away from us. And we just got to come back and regroup, and stay positive and just take it one game at a time, and move on to next week.
Sam, how important is it for the rest of the offense as well when you get some success early on some of the quick hitters and the screens and you're taking a couple of shots? How important is it for the rest of the guys, not just you, to see the chains move and get the ball in the end zone?
Yeah, I think all we were doing was creating momentum. And I think when you have a bunch of different players getting involved in the game and you're moving the ball in different ways, I think it just creates more holes, more openings for the offense, and it just helps more guys get open and get more involved. And I thought we did a good job today. I thought EB called a great game and did a good job to put us in position to have a chance to win. We just got to find a way in the fourth quarter to finish the game and finish with a victory.
Did you get any explanation on the Jahan catch that was then turned into an incompletion?
No, honestly, I didn't even know kind of what was going on. I thought when we got the first down, I didn't even know that it was any question that he caught it. Then the ref came up to me and said that they they reviewed it and said it was incomplete. So it is what it is. But yeah, tough break for us, but still had chances and still got to find a way to get it done.
And just before that, Terry dropped those 2 catchable balls. Is that something? Do you talk to him about that? I mean, I know he's a veteran. But like, do you guys have any discussion about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just told him I got to give him a better chance. The first one, I was trying to stop him, but his job is to stay on the move. I was kind of more worried about the corner falling off of the outside route we had. So Terry did a good job, got open on both those routes. And I mean, people might say they were catchable, but at the end of the day, I got to make his job easier. And Terry's a great player, and I got to do my part.
And just generally over the last few weeks, you guys have dealt with the losses. You know what the stakes are with trade deadline coming up and everything. What is, in your view, what has the mood been like generally in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, it's been fine. I thought, we had a really good week of practice, and the energy was good. And we just keep telling everybody, take it 1 week at a time. There's still a lot of football left, and you work all off season, and you're so excited to play games in the season. And then once you don't start the way you want to, people get down really fast, and they're already ready for the season to be over. And fortunately for us, we haven't had a lot of that. The guys are still excited about what's to come. Obviously, we've let a lot of games, get away from us that we could have won. But at the end of the day, we still have 9 more opportunities. And how we approach each and every one of those is up to us. And it's up to the leaders on the team to try to control the morale of the team. And I think we have such a mature team and great leaders on this football team. And I think the main thing is that we know how good we can be as a team. And so we have every single opportunity that we have from here on forward. We're going to put our best foot forward and try to win each game.
The Fox telecast said that you actually addressed the team this week. Why did you decide now was the right time, and what did you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought, after last week's game, it was a crucial point in our season. It was, and it's up to us to dictate where we're going to go moving forward. And I just try to tell everybody that, we're right there, and everything we want to accomplish is still in front of us. We can still win enough games to make a run at the playoffs. We still have 9 games left, and a lot can happen in 9 games. So why can't we win 9 games in a row? And so just trying to tell people those things and try to keep people positive, because I believe in this team, and I believe in the men that we have in that room. I believe in the coaches that we have. We just got to be more consistent and find ways to win.
Statistically, you had some big accomplishments today. Personally, do you feel like you grew today?
Yeah, I don't really look at the numbers as much. I think I grew in a way of, getting to the checkdowns really fast and avoiding the sacks. I thought that was, obviously it's been a big emphasis for us every single week. And I thought I did a good job managing the game. Obviously, the two turnovers cost us late in the game, but until then, I thought I was doing a decent job. But yeah, just got to continue to find ways to finish better.
What'd you think of the new O-line, and do you think kind of the performance against the sacks is replicable?
Yeah, I thought those guys did a good job. Tyler and Chris came in and stepped up and played a good game. And I'm just proud of all those guys, all the guys who've played up front. All year long, they've given it their all, and I got to continue to get better and help them out. I thought I did a good job helping those guys out for the most part today, and they did their job. And all I can ask for them is to give it everything they got, and that's what we got today.
Sam, Jamison Crowder had to play a bigger role in the offense today due to Kurt Samuel having to leave. Can you just talk about his ability to come in there and your connection with him?
Yeah, JC, he's a heck of a player. Me and him are from the same hometown, so I've been a fan of his my whole entire life. So obviously it's super cool that we're on the same team and get the opportunity to play together. But yeah, he's a heck of a player. He's a vet, but he's still so good, man, and he's still crafty, and just the way he can get in and out of breaks. And we know anytime he's in the game, he's a guy we can trust. And so he did a heck of a job today, and obviously, feel for Curtis. Hope we can get him back out there soon.
And then a lot of young quarterbacks, pre-snap reads from the college game to the NFL game, obviously a little bit different, a little bit more detailed. Second time seeing the Eagles, did you feel more comfortable with your pre-snap reads this week than the last time you saw them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just when you get the chance to play against another team that you played a few weeks ago, obviously having that one game under your belt helps, and you kind of know what they like to do. Then just obviously just going through that experience, and when we played them already, just helped us, as far as a preparation standpoint for the week, and we were able to look at the things that they were doing that was working against us, and try to think of ways that they might do things differently and stuff like that. But thought we had a good plan, executed the plan for most of the game. Just got to find a way to finish.
Sam, at a lot of points, this game felt like a very similar game to the last Eagles game. I know that last one was followed by the Bears loss. How do you guys make sure that the response to this loss is a different situation this coming week than that last time following the Eagles game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, every week is different, and we take it 1 week at a time, and we try to give everything we got. I hope, if anything, this game gives us more motivation just because we know we're so close. That team went to the Super Bowl last year, and we've been in 2 games where we felt like we should have won the game. And I think that shows you how close we are. We just got to find a way to finish. And both those opportunities that we had against that good football team, we got to find ways to finish. And moving forward, we're going to take it 1 week at a time, and give every single team that we play everything they got. And if they want to beat us, they're going to have to earn it.
And just a quick follow-up for you. You talked about becoming a leader throughout the offseason, and obviously you're just talking about how you're speaking to the team this week. Do you feel like more of a veteran right now, just with the experience you've had this year? Like how much do you think you've matured in these last couple months here?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously as a team we've been through a lot, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, and I feel like in each and every one of those I just try to learn from it, and try to continue to grow as a leader and lean on those around me. And I've got some really good coaching and help from other players on the team, and I think every week is a new opportunity to learn in every part of my game, and leadership is a part of that. And so I just got to continue to try and grow and try to help this team as much as I can.
Last one.
Thanks, Sam.
Good.
Cool. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Sam.
Confident in losses and in wins. 38-31 is our final score. We did not get the win at home. However, our guys put up a lot of fight.
They did.
Brian Cooper Jr. here with Brian Mitchell, Logan Paulson, and a very, very special guest.
No,
my
man.
son,
What's up, dude?
my pride and joy, my best friend, my twin, Dominic Colbert. This is his very first NFL game, so it's a very big deal to share this moment with him. It wasn't a win, however. It was a great time sharing this moment with my guy.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
And before we go, guys, we had a fun show. Give us your final thoughts on this game headed into New England.
I just think that, look, they grew today, and they need to learn how to not only go out there and show it early, be able to close it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, grow a little bit more and be able to close the game out. They begin to do that and fight all the way to the end. They fought to the end, but don't make the mistakes late in the game, which give the other team a chance to have an advantage over you.
Yeah, and I think for me it's just like you've shown the league what you can do offensively specifically. You've shown what they can do. Don't have a regression. So far this season it's been a good game, a mediocre game, low performing game, good game, low performing game, and then this is obviously a good game. Can you do that multiple weeks in a row? That'd be my thing, and I hope they can.
And fellas, man, always fun hanging out with you guys. If you guys want to see more of us, check out the Commanders YouTube. We got podcasts, we got TV shows, we got Command Center. We have a ton of fun. But until then, Brian Colbert Jr., Brian Mitchell, Logan Paulson, Dominic Colbert, thank you so much for watching Command Center Postgame Live. Until next time, we'll see you soon, Commanders family.